and welcome to another green marble crochet tutorial. For this tutorial I would like to show you how to make these half finger gloves. Yeah, it's taken me about 5 years to come up with this design, just because in the past I found the whole thing really fiddly and time consuming and I gave up a lot. But I guess recently I've just decided to attempt it again because I crochet every day. I know a little bit more about what I'm doing than I used to. So I attempted it again and finally it paid off and I was able to come up with the design and it's worked out really well. It is still slightly fiddly and time consuming, so I'm going to suggest that if you're a medium level experienced crocheter, then this is probably the project for you. Although it still is quite basic, and if you're willing to persevere and stick with it, the payoff is good. Yeah, worked out quite well. Alright, so yes, that's that. Alright, so for this, I actually used the yarn, a bit of yarn that I had left over, which I used to make the simple hooded sweater. So yeah, just because it's really pretty, I really love it. And the buttons, I had these buttons lying around, they're beautiful. Okay, yes, so I'm going to be using, in the same brand as this yarn, which is Rise, this lovely ocean blue colour. I love this yarn, it's so nice to work with. And for the buttons, I'll be using these beautiful caramelly, sort of like caramel buttons. Yeah, so I think they're really, I love them, they're gorgeous, I love that. And they're going to look so nice against the blue, so yeah, that looks lovely. I'm quite excited actually. Yeah, okay, so I'm excited to share that with you. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I don't really think I have much else to say, and we should probably just get right into making the gloves. Alright, now, to begin, we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to start by chaining 9, so alright, now skipping the first chain from the hook, so that one just there, we're going to put a single crochet into the second chain along, like that, and then we're going to put a single crochet into each stitch along till we get back to the beginning for a total of 8 stitches. Alright, now, next step is to chain 1 and turn the work, and we're going to put a single crochet through the whole of the first stitch, so in through the side beneath that V on top, we're going to put our single crochet through that whole stitch, and then for the next 6 stitches along, we're going to be putting our single crochets into the top back part of the V on the top of the stitch, so through that part just there, a single crochet, and that's through the next 6 stitches. Alright, now that we've reached the last stitch at the end of that row, we're going to be putting our single crochet through the whole of that stitch. So for the first and the last stitch of every row, it's going to be through the entire of the stitch, and then through the middle 6 stitches, it's going to be into the top back part of the V. So chaining 1, turning, through a single crochet through the whole of the stitch, and then for the next 6 stitches, the top back part of the V. And we're going to continue doing this for a total of 26 rows. Right, now that I've finished my 26 rows, we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to slip stitch the 2 ends together. So not chaining up 1, just insert the hook straight into that first stitch, and then at the other end, in through the bottom of that chain stitch. So in through the bottom of the chain stitch just there, and then slip stitch. And we're going to do that all the way along for the 8 stitches, and slip stitching it to the corresponding chain stitch at the other end. So just like that. And do that all the way until you've done all 8 stitches. So just through there. Okay, that's all slip stitched together. So it should look like that. Now we're going to turn it inside out like this, and we're going to chain up 1, and through the ends of the rows just here, you'll be able to find the end quite easily. We're going to put a single crochet into the end of each row, so there should be 26 stitches. So 1, 8. So all the way into the end of each row till you've done 26. Okay, so that's 26 stitches, 26 single crochets into the ends of those rows of the cuff. Now we're going to slip stitch into that chain 1 that we did at the beginning. So that's just there before the first single crochet, slip stitching into the top of that chain 1, just like this. Now, what I'm going to be doing is chaining up 1 and then turn the work and skipping that first stitch that was just there. We're going to put just single crochets 26 times around and then slip stitch into the top of the chain 1. So 26 stitches around, and I'll meet back up with you when we finish the round. Okay, now that I'm at the end of the round, I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 1, and once again chain up 1 and turn the work, and always skipping that first stitch just beneath the chain 1, putting a single crochet into the next into the next stitch along, and it's rounds of 26 stitches, and we're going to do 12 of these rounds before we stop and we do something different. Alright, now that I've finished my 12 rounds of single crochet, I'm going to once again chain up 1 and turn the work, and I'm going to do 26 single crochets as I would normally do them, so into the round. But when I get to the end of the round, I'm not going to slip stitch into the chain 1. I'm just going to chain up 1 and then turn the work and put 26 single crochets back the other way, and this is going to form the space for the thumb, and we're going to do this for 5 rows. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of this round and show you what I mean. Okay, now here I am at the end of the round and like I said, instead of slip stitching into the top of that chain 1, we're just going to chain up 1 and turn the work, and we're going to be putting a single crochet back down. And also when we're doing it like this, we always put our single crochet, if you're not joining the round that is, into the stitch directly beneath the chain 1, and that's because at the end of the row or at the end of the round you're not going to have that slip stitch to act as the extra stitch for you to put your 26th single crochet into. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, just do this 26 single crochets, and then at the end of this row you're going to chain 1 and crochet back in the other direction 26 times, and we're going to do that for 5 rows. So this is the second, and after this there'll be 3 more of the same, and then I'll meet back up with you and I'll show you what we're going to do after that. Alright, now that I've finished my 5 rows where the hole for the thumb's going to be, I'm going to try it on for you and show you what it's going to look like. So pull my sleeve. So there you go, it's going to be kind of like this, and that'll join obviously just there. So it's going to join like that. Now what we want to do next is going to slip stitch into the top of that row. So slip stitch into the chain 1 at the beginning of that row just to join the round again. So into the top of that chain 1, slip stitching. Just like that. Alright, now because I've only got 26 stitches around, what I want to do is increase that to 40 stitches because I'm going to have 10 stitches for each finger, except for the thumb, which is going to be 11 stitches, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so what we're going to do now is chain up 1 and turn. And what I do is I put 5 extra stitches into this round, 5 extra stitches into the next round, and then to make up the difference, to make up 40 stitches, I'll be putting 4 extra stitches into the last round. So here we go, we've just chained up. We chained up 1, yeah, and turn the work. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to count as we go. So I'm going to put 2 stitches into every second stitch till I get to 10. So 1, and then 2, and 2. Whoops. 10 and 10. So we've got 2 stitches into every second stitch up to 10. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 10. And then just count the remaining stitches to 26. So 11, 12. And 26. Okay, now just slip stitching into the top of that chain 1 to close the round, and then once again we're going to chain up 1 and turn the work, and again we're going to be doing 2 stitches into every second stitch till we count to 10. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, till you get to 10. And now, so counting to finish off the round, you should be counting to 31. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So count to 31. Okay, now I've slip stitched to join the round, and once again I chain up 1 and I turn the work. Now I'm only going to be doing 4, an increase of 4. So it'll be 1, and we're going to count to 8. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 8. And as you crochet along and you get to the end, you'll find there'll be 36 stitches around here, and then that'll leave you with a total of 40 stitches for this round. Okay, now that I have a stitch count of 40, I'm going to chain up 1 and turn the work. Now, what I'm going to do next is put a single crochet into 5 stitches along, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, turning it around, so that I'm at the end of the work just here. I'm going to count back from the very last stitch at the end of the round. I'm going to count back 5, so 1, 2, see just here like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to put a single crochet moving straight into that stitch and count that as 6 for the round for this finger. So 1, try and pull it a bit tight so it's not too loose just there, 1, and then into the next one, 2, 3, and where are we, and oh, just there, persevere, you'll get there, 4, and into the last stitch, oh, yeah, just in there, and 5, so that's for a total of 10, and then we're going to, as we normally would for a round, slip stitch into the top of the chain 1 to close the round. So there'll be 10 stitches per finger. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 rounds per finger. So chaining up 1 and turning the work. And remember skipping that stitch directly beneath the chain 1. We count 1. And I know it seems a bit fiddly, 2, but persevere. And 3. And 4. And 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, and that last one just there, 10, and then once again slip stitching into the top of the chain 1, so that one just there, to join the round. So that's round 2. And then complete 6 rounds, and we'll meet back up after we've done this first finger, and I'll show you where to go from there. Okay, now that I've finished my first finger hole, it's going to start looking a little something like this. So yeah, looking good, looking good. Alright, now, our next step is to cut that yarn and tie off, just tie it off, just like this. I'm just tying it off. Now, next step is to grab the end of the yarn, make a slip knot, and then into the next stitch along beside that finger hole. So make sure you don't get it into the same stitch because you want your stitch count to stay the right amount. So into the next stitch, insert your hook and pull through the slip knot. So pull it through, adjust the knot to the hook through there like that, and chain up 1, and then put a single crochet into that first stitch beside that slip knot and chain 1. So it's a single crochet, and then 2 into the next one, 3, 4, 4, and 5. And then once again, turn your work around to the other side, and counting back from, yeah, make sure you don't count the stitch that you've already gone into, so that'll be that one there, you'll know when you see it. So counting 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there's that 5th one, and put a single crochet right into that stitch, and again make sure you pull it kind of tight so that's not too loose. Okay, single crochet, so that's 6, and 7, 8, 9, and 10 just there. And then once again, finding the beginning of that round, and slip stitch into the top of the chain 1, just to join the round for that finger. And yeah, I know it seems kind of fiddly and it's kind of time consuming, but you know, it's not. Oh, hang on, that was a single crochet. That was wrong. Slip stitch into the top of that chain 1. So just, I just proved my point. It's fiddly and a little bit annoying, but it's worth it. I mean, you do get used to it and it gets easier. So just like that, and then chain 1, turn the work, and do six rounds of that, and then tie off the yarn. Do the same just here, and then when you get to the end one, you're obviously not going to have to turn your work at all. You're just going to do 10 single crochets round, and you're going to do that for all of these 4 fingers. Once we get to the thumb, I'll meet back up with you and show you where to go from there. Alright, now that I've finished my fingers for the top part of the glove, I'm going to show you how to do the thumb. And this is how it should start to look. This yarn, I think, is a little bit thicker. Well, I know it's a little bit thicker than the grey one that I used to make the original gloves. So the glove is slightly chunkier, slightly bigger, but that's okay. It's still really cute. Also, it's a bit longer, so what I think I'm going to do with these once I'm finished is fold up the cuff. And that's going to look really, really cute for the glove. I think that'll look really good. Yep. Just like that. Okay. And yeah, just if you've got a button, play around with the button, see how it looks. I think that brown just looks amazing with this blue yarn. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to make the thumb. And it's really simple. It might be a little fiddly to begin with, but persevere, you'll get there. So take some fresh yarn and make a slip knot, and then basically what we're doing is just distributing 11 stitches evenly around the thumb hole. So going into the ends of the row, see there's a thumb hole just there, so for the first, or the last row just there, just stick your hook through, pull through the slip knot, and it's just like we did for the other fingers except slightly different. So chain 1, and then remember, put another stitch, or put a single crochet next to that chain 1 and slip knot. So just in like that, single crochet. And then distributing evenly, so counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just try and get it as even as you possibly can. And because there's that extra uneven number of stitches, I'm just going to put the 6th one just anywhere down the bottom there of that thumb hole. So just 6, and then count 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 all the way back up the other side. So I'll do that off camera. There we go. And then just slip stitch into the top of the chain 1. And just like with the other fingers, do 6 rounds of single crochet to finish up. So I'll go away off camera and do that. And then we'll meet back up. We'll see how our gloves look. Alright. Okay, and here are the finished gloves. As you can see, I've weaved in all the ends and sewed the buttons on. Yeah, so I think for this particular design, slightly bigger buttons probably look best, but I'm not unhappy with the way these look. I think they're really cute. I really love these buttons. I think they're gorgeous, and the brown just looks so good with that blue, especially because there's blue flecks already through the yarn. Yeah, okay, so that's that. Yeah, so like I said, you can probably fold up the cuffs and it'll look cute too, you know. But you don't have to. I mean, you can wear them long and they look cute long as well. So yeah, just depending on how you feel. So if you've watched all the way to the end of this, thank you for watching. I hope you managed to follow along with my probably slightly unclear instructions and managed to make a pair of cute gloves. I hope you did, and I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like, and I would love to have you subscribe and join me for some more crochet fun. There's plenty more to come. Yes, okay. Thanks for watching.